Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to see you. Barely months before Punjab goes to polls, a major political controversy is now brewing in the state. And at the center of it is its biggest star, Diljit Dosanjh, and his film Satluj. Now, Satluj remained stalled for nearly 3 years after facing extensive objections during certification, with the censor board asking for some 127 cuts. The film suddenly then appears on Z5 on the 3rd of July and is taken down almost immediately, 48 hours after its release, and there is no explanation given as to why it is removed from the OTT platform. Diljit Dosanjh, on his part, is saying he expected this. Z5, the OTT platform, says the film has been withdrawn until further notice because of current developments, while simultaneously maintaining that it stands by the film and the conversation it has started. Ladies and gentlemen, this is important. No government order has been made public. No court has directed its removal. The reason behind the sudden disappearance remains a mystery. Now, Diljit Dosanjh, who portrays Sikh human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra, is defiant. He says no one can stop the film and no one can silence Khalra's voice. His message to his viewers is simple. He's saying the movie is still circulating online. Find it, watch it, and keep the conversation alive.
ਉੱਥੇ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਸੰਡੇ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਸੀ, ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਯੈਸ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮੰਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਫ਼ਤਰ ਖੁੱਲਣਗੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ ਬੈਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਪਰ ਸੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਡੇ 1 ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਦੱਸੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ। ਜੇ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ 2 ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਲੱਗਣੀ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ।
Now, the controversy surrounding Satluj begins with its subject. Originally titled Punjab 95, the film is a biographical drama on human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra, who investigated alleged enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings during Punjab's insurgency years, mid-80s to mid-90s. Directed by Hanit Rehan and starring Diljit Dosanjh, the film follows Khaira's efforts to document thousands of alleged illegal cremations before he himself disappeared in 1995. 4 cops were given a life sentence for his murder. In 2011, the Supreme Court upheld the life term. Supporters described the film as an important account of human rights violations, a story that needs to be told, however uncomfortable it may be. Critics argue that Khalra's claim of 25,000 killings was hugely exaggerated. They say it presents only one side of Punjab's violent past while underplaying the brutality of Khalistani terrorism and the challenges faced by security forces. Some even accuse the film of glorifying terrorism, especially in one scene that shows a Punjab chief minister being assassinated, being blown up. The controversy has quickly become political. TMC leader Saket Gokhale has accused the Modi government of suppressing uncomfortable truths, calling the film an important account of human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra's struggle and Punjab's painful past. Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal has also condemned the film's removal, describing it as an assault on free speech and collective memory. Former Indian cricketer and now BJP MP Harbhajan Singh has praised Satluj as a courageous film, saying stories like these deserve to be told.
कश्मीर फाइल, केरला फाइल, फलाना फाइल, डिगाना फाइल, जिसके अंदर नफरत मुसलमान के खिलाफ भरी हुई, सब दिखाएंगे ये। उसकी दोसांझ की क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे भाई? वो क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे हो? ये देश के अंदर जो माहौल इन्होंने कर दिया है, अब लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। हम तो बोल रहे हैं, हम तो लड़ रहे हैं, लेकिन लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। इन्होंने इलेक्शन कमीशन बंधक बना लिया, इन्होंने सारी की सारी संस्थाओं को बंधक बना लिया, सबकी निगाहें सुप्रीम कोर्ट पर है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट संविधान का संरक्षक है।
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is no statement from the censor board on whether it asked for the film to be taken down. Fact is, OTT does not come under its purview. Neither has the government spoken. However, sources in the government are saying that the decision to pull the film from OTT platforms in India stems from worries that it might help revive a fading pro-Khalistani narrative. Officials are particularly concerned that certain separatist factions could exploit the movie to gain traction in Punjab, especially with the state elections on the horizon. These sources stressing multiple times that the core issue is national security rather than any political motivation. But some within the BJP, like Harbhajan Singh and RP Singh, both Sikhs, seem to disagree. Fact is, ladies and gentlemen, that Punjab did experience a violent separatist insurgency during the 1980s and 90s as radical groups fought to establish an independent theocratic state called Khalistan. Fact also is that extrajudicial killings disguised as encounters became a standard counter-insurgency tool, with the police acting outside the judicial framework. Now, the figure of 25,000 may be disputed, but the killings did happen. This was a dark chapter in Punjab's history. It is famously said that those who don't remember history are condemned to repeat it. Is that what we are doing with Satluj? The disappearance of Satluj has now become bigger than the film itself. It has reignited an old debate about history, censorship, and the limits of creative freedom. If an OTT platform can withdraw a film after releasing it without any publicly known ban or judicial order, it raises questions that extend far beyond this one controversy and could shape how streaming platforms handle politically sensitive films in the future. My guest this evening for a very quick chat, Raman Malik is a political analyst, Jay Dehadrai joining us on the broadcast, advocate on record. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. Bikramjit Pasi, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, good evening, welcome back. Nasir Abdullah is an actor. Ashwini Kumar representing the Congress Party this evening. Gentlemen, we have about 15 minutes, so I'd request you to keep your comments short and crisp and sweet. Raman Malik, can I just start with you and ask you, can national security really be a reason to pull down a film from OTT? Honestly?
When there was no OTT, there were still films which were taken down. Even film music was taken down. So let's not go on to those tracks. But yes, we must talk about one major aspect. That this film is basically something which is walking on the edge of the sword. It is a double-edged sword which is basically doing two things. One, under the garb of human rights and other things, it is propagating the philosophy that Khalra followed. Khalra was a very hardcore, clear Khalistan supporter, the intellectual terrorism that was required for it. His all major speeches happened in Canada and UK and other places. Now, let's talk about the basic fact. Was the extrajudicial killings happening in Punjab at that point in time? Yes. Who was the government? We all know. But was it happening? That is the answer, the question, and that is yes. But then, are we talking about the killings that happened by the terrorists, by the so-called people whom Khalra Sahib wanted to show as heroes? That is being eradicated. Congress today is speaking on multiple statements on this particular issue, forgetting that Indira Gandhi was the one who was shot dead by these very same ideology.
Raman Malik, this is a film.
Keep that aside also. Let's keep that aside.
Raman Malik, do you remember marches?
No.
Do you remember marches? Do you remember when it was released?
I remember marches, and I also
do you remember when it was released?
Shreya, I was a child. I was a child in 1984 when I saw people burning in a tire. And my hatred for Congress became that day permanent in my life.
No. Mr. Malik, I don't understand this. What does that have to do with a film being banned? If a Kerala file, if a Kerala story with its disputed figures can be released, Punjab 95 can be released as well, na? What are these selective concerns?
You tell me something. I accept that KPS Gill and his company and his people went ahead and did something which were not as per the rule book. But was everybody else doing everything as per the rule book? It was very clearly documented that under
नहीं,
the
तो वो 40 साल पहले जो हुआ रमीन मलिक, that will create a law and order problem in this country.
Madam, 40
are you doubting the patriotism of Punjabis and saying एक picture की वजह से सब खालिस्तानी बन जाएंगे? आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं? Anyway, let the Aam Aadmi Party come in.
Punjabi too. I'm a hardcore Punjabi. I'm a Punjabi Khatri. So do not talk to me about Punjabiyat because I'm born and brought up in Punjabiyat.
Mr. Malik,
but let me
I am
tell you
also
one little factor. ये 40 साल पुरानी बात इसलिए जरूरी है क्योंकि 40 साल पहले ये साबित हुआ है.
Mr. Malik,
we have to be very
Mr. Malik,
when we talk
if we
about
forget
this.
history,
If
we are condemned to repeat
like
it.
this,
If the film is factually incorrect, the government can take it to court like the Kerala government took Kerala story to court. अब आप रुक जाइए and let the Aam Aadmi Party speak. I don't have very much time and I have 3 more guests to speak to. Mr. Pasi, go ahead, please.
I am also Punjabi Khatri. I am residing in Punjab, in Mohali district. And I strongly condemned the central government decision, which has been taken under the pressure of Congress, which has been taken under the pressure of Ravneet Bittu, maybe. I'm using the word maybe.
ये तो अलग ही आपकी conspiracy theory है.
This film, kindly complete me, Shreya. This film shows the history, what has happened in the Punjab. And we are not ashamed of, because it was the dirty politics played by the political parties. Punjabis never commit any riot. Is the new violence based on any based on any film? Is the film is the reason for new violence? Is any film is the reason for Manipur violence? What are you saying? The Mr. Khalra was a human rights activist. He was a director of a bank, and he was investigating that how 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people were cremated, abandoned and unclaimed. And he was doing the work for the society. Police, we are against the violence. Either it was caused by terrorists or it was caused by the police. And once the Supreme Court has decided the matter, once the CBI court has granted sentence to those police officers, and it was found that Mr. Khalra was abducted, Mr. Khalra was arrested illegally, and he disappeared in the police custody, and court has granted imprisonment to those police officers. You are saying that it will create any hurdle in the Punjabis? Not at all. We cannot see this film on the angle of terrorism. We can see this film on the basis of historic facts.
देखिए, facts can be disputed. Mr. Deyadra, just come in here. Facts can be disputed, right? Facts were disputed even during the Kerala story, where the 35,000 Hindu and Christian women were converted and they became ISIS brides. That fact was contested in court. The filmmakers were asked to correct their facts and release the film. Exactly the same thing could have happened for Diljit's film. Instead, it has been hanging fire for the last 3 years. The censor board is asking it for 127 cuts. Then they go release it on OTT. OTT se bhi hata diya. Bhai, why? OTT to does not even come under the purview of the censor board.
Shreya, good evening. If you'd just allow me to make a few points very quickly. I've heard all the other speakers very carefully, as also your opening comments. There are a few things I want to just highlight. One, national security, Shreya, has to take precedence over all other considerations. That means both politics and certainly also commercial considerations. This is a very important principle that I'm willing to die on that hill. It's a very important thing to me. I quite agree with the gentleman who had spoken earlier, Mr. Malik. He's right to the extent that the Khalistani movement and the threat of Khalistani revival in Punjab is an extremely critical threat to India's national security. This threat remains live and viable even today. There is evidence to show that from Pakistan, efforts have been made not only from Pakistan, but from Canada and also certain motivated actors from the United States. I don't have to remind everyone here that Mr. Dosanjh himself is no longer an Indian citizen. He is an American citizen. I'm casting no aspersions on him. But I will say this, with the Punjab elections on the anvil now, as you rightly pointed out, Shreya, I think now in February 2027, the fact is that Punjab is ripe for some kind of disturbance to be created. Now, I haven't seen the movie, to be honest. I'm guessing you may not have seen the movie either. But if it has been felt by certain individuals in the government, in the security establishment, and please let me clarify this. As I said, this is not a political issue. It would have suited the BJP government, in fact, to allow the movie to come out because it shows excesses and brutality by the Congress government.
Correct.
It was a Sardar Dhyan Singh government, as you know, Shreya, in 1995
Correct.
in the state, and Narasimha Rao's government in the center. And plus, as Mr. Malik also pointed out rightly, 1984 Sikh riots were also a creation and were allowed to happen during the Congress regime. I'll quickly conclude. So my point is, this shows enormous maturity on the part of the central government if they have taken this decision, because politically it might have suited them. But insofar as national interest is concerned, nothing can come above national interest, and this government is very clear about national interest being most important.
Ashwini is smiling, he can respond to you.
Shreya, how ironical it is that the national security has become the prerogative of J Entertainment Media and not the government. They are telling that J Entertainment Media, which first put up the film on OTT and then after watching it realized the issue of national security and removed it without government intervention. How naive one can be.
No, Z has not said that. They have not said anything. They just say under the present circumstances. Now, no one is telling us what those present circumstances are. Whether the censor board has called them, whether the government has called them.
I don't think it's the prerogative of center board also to be a national security guard. It is definitely the government of India and the Home Ministry, which would have probably forced them, because I don't understand, if you really want to ban the film, come out, issue an order and ban the film. But then people will ask, why did you ban the film? So they are taking a route which is not legal and which is not right. Whatever the content of the film may be, whatever it is, we lost Indra Ji because of these radicals, but we still want to see that what is the content of that movie. Let people see, let people watch, let people decide. Who are you to control the narrative? Who are you to tell that? And you can have propaganda movies like Kerala Story, you can have propaganda movies like Kashmir Files, even movies like Durandar can have a dialogue where you are critiquing a narrative that one government is really bad, other.
Okay. Jay, you want to respond quickly, 20 seconds.
Quick, 20 seconds. The problem is, I can say this as a third person outside observer, neutral. Problem is that the Congress party cannot see anything beyond the Gandhis. For them, there is no national interest. It is Gandhi interest. Dynasty politics. How can we beat each other at doing sycophancy to please the Gandhis? That is the end all and be all of their politics. They do not understand that sometimes national interest requires, governments to take difficult steps. That is all that has happened in this case. We don't want, sentiments to be flared in Punjab.
Jay, it's been 40 years, number one. March is released without you sparking a riot or fanning any pro-Khalistani sentiments. 40 years later, you think one film by Diljit Dosanjh will actually suddenly light the torch for the Khalistanis? Anyway, let Mr. Abdullah come in. Mr. Abdullah, I wonder what it is like for an artist. This is a man, he's made this film with conviction, right? Every day he's coming on Facebook and he's urging people to say, no one can stop this film. It's out on social media, it's out on the internet, go watch it and keep the conversation going. But should he have taken the legal route and gone to court and said, look, I don't want to do these 127 cuts and I want to know why my film is being stalled? He should have gone to court, right? Instead of quietly releasing it on Z5.
That's another question. The point is, what I want to say, what you can do, you can go to court, you can go to international, to The Hague. But the point is that this happened 40 years ago. You gave all the illustrations earlier about Matches and earlier this other film, and nothing happened. So why should something happen now? So apparently somewhere the government is a bit worried that it could lead to some people getting organized and all this other stuff that is happening, the Cockroach Party and the Cockroach Janta. I don't know. But I think if it is a fact, if it's a factual thing, the gentleman, Mr. Jaswant, worked very hard on this and found out the truth. Maybe there's an exaggeration, but I'm sure it happened. It always does. It happens with the army when the army is in charge. It happened in Kashmir as well. A lot of atrocities happened everywhere. And you cannot give the credit to everything around. You can't report everything straight. I am sure that these atrocities happened on the suspects and the terrorists everywhere. So I don't see why, and I don't see why they have, because this was an honest banker. He found out over a period of time, and people were actually convicted for his murder, apparently.
Yes, they were. Four police,
so
four cops actually. Mr. Malik, I have 20 seconds I have to wrap, but please help me understand. Even if there was some chance that there was some andesha of some sort of riot happening because of the film releasing, or some danga happening because of the film releasing, can I ask you, is it not the government's job to ensure that that doesn't happen? Is it the film's job? Is it a film's job to keep peace in this country? Aap khud bataiye. And I'm not saying this, by the way. The Supreme Court of India said this when the West Bengal government banned Bengal files and Kerala files. Aapko yaad hai na?
Can I now speak?
Yes, 20 seconds,
I'll tell you
sir.
something very clearly. You do not realize what actually Khalistani threat is. Please come to my house and you will find out what Khalistani threat is. I and my kids are living 24/7 under protection because I have death threats from USA, Canada, Australia, UK, from Khalistani elements. And I am given protection by the government. Do you understand what is the threat of, what is the life living under protection 24/7? You do not know. It is not something which is like a candy that you're getting. It is total, your total independence is finished. My kids can't go out for a pastry whenever they want. That is the kind of things that are happening under the ground. Please understand, of late, something happened, and that in that particular event, it was found out that 99% of the push from social media which happened against me happened from Peshawar and Lahore. Now, you tell me something that this is not clear and present danger?
Mr. Malik,
I
sympathize with your situation.
At once.
I sympathize with your situation. I lost an uncle during the insurgency. He was an army commando. So let's not, the fact is many of us have lost people we loved in Punjab. My point is, I refuse to believe that this great country can be destabilized because of a film. That's what I believe, but all of us are entitled to their own view. I think we've heard you all. I apologize. This was supposed to be a longer conversation. We had to cut it short because of what has happened at the Ram Mandir. But I'm going to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, the Gujarat government has launched a first-of-its-kind health passport initiative for nearly 1.89 crore children from birth to 18 years of age, creating a comprehensive record of every child's health journey. Introduced under the School Health Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karikram, the initiative aims to improve preventive health care, enable early diagnosis of illness, and ensure continuity of medical care throughout childhood. The health passport is far more than a simple medical card. It serves as a lifelong health record during childhood, documenting routine health checkups, nutritional status, milestones, referrals, and treatments. The Gujarat government says the initiative will help create a complete digital health profile for every child, enabling timely medical intervention, better disease monitoring, and improved healthcare planning across the state. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap from me. Thank you for watching. Good night. News and updates continue right here on Times Now. Do stay with us.